Good morning, gamers. Hello. Let's talk about raid teams. You know, when I first started playing Final Fantasy XIV, it weirded me out that people make different groups or statics for different content. Statics. Such an odd name to call a group, isn't it? No? Just me? Okay. But coming from World of Warcraft, we always joined guilds or free companies for specific content. And most guilds were extremely proficient at one or two areas of the game. Whether that was raiding or Mythic Plus or PvP or ERP. What I'm getting at is that the raid teams or statics that we make in Final Fantasy XIV are much more temporary. So what does that do for your group's ability to communicate with one another? What about the synergy amongst your players? How does it affect your team's conflict resolution or your ability to take criticism? These are all things that I'd like to touch on. So let's get to the 5 ways that you can improve your casual, mid-core, or hardcore raid team. Today, right now, you can start working on it. Number 1, goals. Make sure that you and every person in your team understands the goal of the group. You joined or made this group for a reason. So what is that reason? Do your goals align with your team's goals? Why are you running the content? Why are they running the content? What is your team going to do after you finish the content? You know, when my group got together for the Epic of Alexander Ultimate TM, we had an info text channel set up in the Discord by our raid lead that laid out the goals and expectations of the group. And as lame or awkward as that may sound to some people, or that can be for some people, it's an extremely important first step that you must take with a group of people or a group of friends that you hopefully will be able to raid with for a long time. If you organize your goals beforehand, early on, before it even starts, or if you're late just right now, you are setting the tone and expectations of the team, as well as giving your team something to fall back on if there ever is conflict that you have to resolve. Number 2, bring a good attitude. Easy to say, hard to do sometimes. I've been there. You're going to have nights of success. You're going to have nights of failure. You're going to have nights of happiness. You're going to have nights of sadness. You're going to have nights where you can't wait to show up to raid. You're super excited. You're ready to kill the boss. And then it doesn't die because you keep wiping at 0.1% because your druid isn't doing enough damage. That's the wrong game. And let's be honest, you're going to have nights where you just don't want to be there. But the important thing to do is take a step back and realize that you are one piece of this puzzle. You're one of the 8 pieces of Exodia. Wait, that's not how that works, but whatever. You're one of the 8 necessary pieces of this system to keep your group progressing and striving forward toward the goals that you would like to achieve. So when you bring a poor attitude or you're being toxic, people in your group will notice. And when they notice, it can change the morale of the entire party. Be aware of how you're presenting yourself. Now, bad nights are gonna happen. You could have just got home from work, you're having a long day, or you could be going through some really difficult times in your life. And I'm always here if you want to talk. But it's very important to take a step back, take a deep breath, and think about the outside influences that you've had on your current mood. And if there is anything affecting your current mood that could bring the overall morale of your raid team down, try to address it on your own before raid, or let your group know beforehand that there is something bothering you or there is something bringing you down today, so that they can at least have an understanding of what to expect. Now, you obviously don't have to tell them everything that's going on in your life. Just let them know that there is something going on if you are comfortable doing that. Number 3, show up prepared and on time. Now, this one may sound obvious, but it blows my mind how many times I have already seen this in my short time playing Final Fantasy, or the amount of times that I've had to address this when I was a DPS officer in World of Warcraft. Show up prepared. Anytime that your group is going into new content, you have an opportunity to be an invaluable asset to your team. And all you have to do is show up with the required knowledge of the fights or strategies that your group is trying to use before you show up to raid. I keep thinking about this and it just sounds like common sense. At least it does to me. But I've honestly seen this too much and I just feel like it needs to be said. Show up to raid ready, prepared, studied up, good to go, on time, and you will help sculpt a level of trust and respect amongst your teammates. Even if you have to cram while you're in the bathroom at work, any little bit of effort helps and it shows. Number 4, work on your job or class and do research in your own off time when you can. This is especially important for progression and speedrun groups. And honestly, if you're in a speedrun group, you should be doing this anyway. But for progression groups, you're going to be hitting DPS checks. You're going to be hitting enrage timers. And one of the biggest ways that you can help your group get through DPS checks or enrage timers is to do your own research or practice your class in your own time. Now, obviously, one of the biggest ways to improve on your own time is comparing your logs to a top-ranked player's logs of your class. And I covered this a little bit in my past video on how I learn a new job. And while that video focused more around the opener and only slightly touched on how I prog through the rest of the fight, in theory, it's the same thing. You practice the opener, you practice the fight in a practice group, and then you try to figure out what other people are doing that you are not. I do the exact same thing in speed groups. Pushing out every extra little bit of DPS is extremely important in speeds, and it's something that everyone in your group has to be doing. Do your own research on your own time outside of raid, and don't become complacent. Number 5, be able to give and receive constructive criticism. Now the key word here is constructive. Constructive. Not toxic, not angry, not demoralizing, not mean. There is nothing wrong with extending help or offering a piece of advice to someone else in your group, as long as it is presented in a constructive manner. And if you have built enough respect and trust amongst one another, and you understand that the help or advice that you're giving someone is for the bettering of the group and not to pull someone down, then this step is a lot easier to get through. But keep in mind that this is a two-way street. UPS guy at the door. I remember when we were preparing to do E6S and I was looking through some ninja logs and there was a JP guy doing a Doton right before Ifrit and Garuda came out. I was like, Raiton's better there. You're putting a Raiton into trick attack. Why would you put a Doton out? Especially since one of the bosses becomes invuln during the period. So I didn't really look too much into it until one of my teammates said, "Hey Tyci, why aren't you doing a Doton there?" And I said, "Hey teammate, I don't know." Of course, our natural instinct is to become defensive or try to defend what we're doing by justifying it with things that might not even be true. But don't become defensive. Be open. Ask yourself, why am I doing that? What benefit am I gaining by doing it my way instead of the other way? What benefit am I gaining by doing it the other way over my way? Think critically about the situation and then look more into it. They're bringing it up because they want to help you. They want to help the group. And maybe there is a reason that you are or are not doing something in a fight. But be able to take a step back and listen to the feedback that your teammates are giving you. The ability to receive and critically think about constructive criticism is probably one of the most important aspects of being a teammate. Teammates who are willing to improve, teammates who are willing to listen, teammates who are willing to hear what you have to say, teammates who are willing to question what they're doing, teammates who are willing to strive to become better players or think critically about what they're doing are really hard to find. They're a rare breed, but they're one of the best teammates that you can have. So be that teammate. Be the person who's willing to listen to your friends, but also make sure that you're doing the right thing. So those are my 5 things, my big 5, my 5 pieces of Exodia. So let me know in the comments what you think makes a good teammate. I hope that my new microphone and camera didn't bother you guys too much. As always, thank you so much for watching the video and have a great day.